Justin, I got to say this with this latest in terms of this recruiting with two of the top players in the country, that I'm going to take Ohio State fans out of the mix. I'm going to take Michigan fans out of the mix because they're obviously extremely biased. Just I'm going to take your college football fan that roots for whoever else. I do call-in shows all week, take comments into the channel constantly. Most people look at this and just think this is going to just fall back into what it's been. Like 2021 happened, fine, but it's going to fall back into what it's. These kind of situations in recruiting, and not just these two guys, others lead me to believe that this isn't like Michigan just going to fall back in line in second place in the East Division and be okay with that, that they're fighting for the premium talent. And it's not like Jim Harbaugh hasn't gotten those guys on occasion, but just not enough of them where it seems like they're in play for more of them now.
Yeah, definitely. I think that all of a sudden, when you can walk a guy into Schembechler Hall and that Big Ten championship trophy is sitting there, all of a sudden that trophy case is not empty anymore. It says a little bit. You can talk about going to the college football playoff. Hey, when you come to Michigan, you're going to be playing in Indianapolis. You're going to be playing in that Orange Bowl on a stage in front of how many millions of people. So all of a sudden that stuff is very real instead of them talking about you have the chance to change it. And I know that like a guy that I just talked about, Donovan Edwards, has come here. He talked about, hey, I went to Michigan because I wanted to change things. Well, now it's hey, we want to keep this rolling and take it to the next level. We want to not just stop at a Big Ten championship. We want to, take it to a national championship. So I think that that's where it definitely helps to have that trophy in that trophy case and have those experiences to talk about. I would agree with you. Honestly, if you would have asked me a couple months ago, Michigan's recruiting after the whole Jim Harbaugh NFL saga seemed like it cooled off big time. It felt like this was, 2021 was going to be an anomaly. Now it feels like they've got NIL coming out. I know that there are big talks of an NIL collective that is going to happen at Michigan. That's going to change things and help them speed it up. And if they can start landing some of these big time recruits, all it takes is a couple of those 5 stars and you start talking about it and the snowball rolls. And I think that they can roll this into something. Do I think that they're all of a sudden going to have an Ohio State run for a decade plus? Probably not, but I think it's going to be a chance here. They have a chance with these new recruits if they can get a Nicholas Harbor and a Dante Moore, that all of a sudden now they're contending, and like I said, all it takes is a couple of those to snowball it into 4 or 5, and then you're really making an impact.
I mentioned to those preseason publications, Ohio State's in the 1 or 2 position in just about all of them, but Michigan's right there, 5, 6 in that range.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a heck of a showdown again.
Well, and I think that it'll make it fun. I think for a lot of Michigan and Ohio State fans, that has been so dominated by Ohio State. I'm sure Ohio State fans have had fun with that. I'll say that right there. But I think if Michigan can get on the plane of Ohio State or even close to them in recruiting, that's going to make this rivalry fun again. And then it's going back and forth like it was in 2016, and in some of those games that that's what people want it to be. I think you're crazy if you're an Ohio State fan and you don't want it to be a back and forth rivalry. Obviously, you want to win that game every year, and it's fun to beat up on Michigan. But I think it makes this rivalry better when they are number 2 and number 4, number 1, number 2, that type of thing. And that's where Michigan, these recruits will help them get to that point.